Likes Computers, Episode 5, Memory. Introduction. Welcome to this episode of Swice Computers. Last time we examined the CPU, and this time we will be taking a look at the computer's answer to short-term storage of data, memory. What is memory? Memory is how the computer stores data instructions short-term. Usually by upgrading a computer's memory, you can also increase its performance. Today is one of the most popular and cost-effective upgrades you can do. No computer can do any work without memory for short-term storage. Types of memory. Memory has three main types or formats. Each one is used for a different purpose within a computer. They are DRAM, SRAM, and ROM. I will now go briefly over each type. DRAM. DRAM stands for Dynamic Random Access Memory and is the type associated with what most people consider to be memory, the RAM chips. It has evolved over the years, and the current standard for computers is DDR4 SDRAM, or the fourth version of double data rate synchronous DRAM. DRAM is also used for the memory on graphics cards, and that is called GDDR RAM. And I think version 6 or 7 is the current version. SRAM. SRAM, or Static Random Access Memory, is different from DRAM in that it does not need a refresh signal to keep its data stored. Because of this little fact, is way faster but also more expensive to produce. You can typically find SRAM in the CPU cache memory banks. Data stored in SRAM can usually be retrieved by the CPU in under 10 nanoseconds. ROM. ROM stands for read-only memory, and for the earliest version of this type of memory, that was true. You could only read the data reached into the memory that was programmed in at the factory. This reason, it was and still is used on the BIOS chips, which allow a computer to boot itself. Today's ROM chips are called EPROM, which can be both erased and programmed by special software in a computer. This is usually done when the BIOS needs to be upgraded and has to be done carefully. Failure to do so will most often result in the motherboard being bricked, or in other words, unable to be used as part of a working computer again. Memory packaging. There are two main ways of packaging memory that is used for RAM. One is mainly used in computers and servers. The other is typically used for laptops and other smaller devices which have removable memory. DIMM. The main type of memory packaging used for desktops and servers is called DIMM, or Dual Inline Memory Module. DIMMs are used to package the SDRAM family of DRAM chips. They're called dual because memory can be accessed from both sides of the module by separate pins. Different DIMMs have notches in different places so you cannot mix up the types of RAM. If you line them up, you'll see that each successive generation has a notch farther to the left than the previous version. This prevents them from being placed into the wrong motherboard, as they have different electricity requirements for each generation. When buying RAM, always double check what version of DDR your motherboard supports and what the maximum amount of memory you can use. SODIMM. SODIMM, or Small Outline DIMM, is the packaging used for notebooks and laptops. They are smaller than DIMMs, and the current 64-bit versions have one keying notch. Depending on the version, they have between 144 and 204 pins per module. Like DIMMs, SODIMMs are not compatible between versions, and you should always purchase the type recommended by the manufacturer of your notebook or laptop. Conclusion. In this episode, we examined the computer's answer for short-term storage, memory. We examined the types of memory and the way memory is packaged for use as RAM. Next time, we will examine long-term storage solutions that computers use. Thank you for your support of this series and my channel here on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button and consider leaving a comment. It helps out the channel. If you want to catch future episodes, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon as well.